The daily grind of a 9 to 5 job or 8 hours of work for 5 weekdays is fine to some extent. However, when those work hours start stretching into meaningless overtime, it becomes a different story. Zoom 100 follows the story of Akira Tendo, a normal salaryman who spends his day clocking in and out at a company he despises. Mentally and physically drained at the young age of 24, he finds himself living a life devoid of purpose. He detests his job, his apartment is a mess, and he feels stuck, unable to move forward. To make matters worse, his co-worker Sauri, the only person who brings some sanity to his work life, is having an affair with his boss. The opening shot reveals a man running desperately through the city streets, surrounded by abandoned cars and lifeless bodies. As he races, a flyover reveals the devastating destruction of the entire area. Eventually, a ravenous zombie catches up to him, devouring him while the camera focuses on a graffiti on a nearby wall that bears the message Memento Mori, which is a Latin phrase meaning remember you must die. Going back to our main character, every aspect of Akira's life feels burdensome, but then something immeasurable happens. When Akira goes to discuss rent with his landlord, he stumbles upon him having another tenant for breakfast, literally. The zombie apocalypse strikes Japan, relieving Akira of the need to go to work or worry about the mundane aspect of everyday life. He is finally free, liberated from the shackles that have held him back from living life on his terms. This newfound freedom breathes new life into Akira, especially because he no longer needs to work for a salary in a world overrun by zombies. He creates a to-do list, determined to fulfill his bucket list before succumbing to the inevitable fate of becoming a zombie himself. As Akira reflects on his life and the changes brought about by the zombie apocalypse, he relaxes on the street with a beer from a convenience store. He realizes that he now has the opportunity to live life at the fullest and wastes no time buying a pen and a paper to create his bucket list. This list encompasses everything from learning English to finding his dream woman. While most people are terrified by the ongoing zombie threat, Akira eagerly embraces the chance to see what he can accomplish before it all comes crashing down. His journey leads him into hilariously bizarre situations, evoking a reaction that is far from typical when faced with a zombie takeover. However, for Akira it feels like a dream come true. The charm of Zombie Plus has faded as more titles have emerged, blending together and reducing their focus slowly to the setting rather than delivering compelling narratives. Zoom 100 breaks free from these conventions and approaches the situation with a completely different angle. Akira doesn't bother dwelling into the implications of the chaos unfolding around him. While it should be terrifying, it becomes a series of comedic moments, with audiences rooting for Akira as he finally begins to live the life he's longed for since joining the workforce. If you ever experienced a job you despised, Akira's journey becomes highly relatable. Additionally, it taps into the longing we all have for the things we wish we had done or had the time to do. In essence, Zoom 100 is less of a zombie series and more of a slice of life story that incorporates horror elements. It deviates just enough from the norm to succeed. Capturing the maniac essence of the narrative, the zombies become mere icing on the cake. In the second episode, Akira encounters the first new character of the series, Shizuka, a survivor who takes the situation seriously, armed with a camera and a plan, which is different from the manga somehow. Shizuka's cool demeanor and dismissive attitude toward Akira emphasizes the dangers of the world they now inhabit. Her presence balances the expectation of life without societal order. Their first meeting is fantastic, as Shizuka assumes a role typically assigned to male protagonists, shielding Akira from harm with her own body. She forces Akira to analyze risks, but he manages to maintain his composure, even if he must think quickly on his feet. Struck by a newfound understanding of his morality, Akira chooses to live his life and creates a bucket list. Each item represents something he had denied himself since entering adulthood. While some goals are immediately within reach, such as confessing his love to a girl, others involve simpler tasks like cleaning his room or enjoying a beer at home. Akira's list reveals the emptiness that has pervaded his life until now. Highlighting his isolation in adulthood, his final wish is to form and rekindle relationships. On the other hand, Shizuka focuses on survival rather than contemplating her eventual transformation into a zombie. Her list revolves around staying alive, and as she writes it, the audiences see the stark contrast between her and Akira's perspective on the apocalypse. While Shizuka remains an important character throughout the story, it takes time to truly understand who she is. The anime adaptation, animated by Bug Films and directed by Kazuki Kawago, brilliantly employs a transition from black and white animation to vibrant colors. Using blood as a representation of the joyful chaos, the result is reminiscent of a Pollock painting, perfectly conveying Akira's jubilance in a world that no longer demands his presence at work. Rather than drowning in gore, the splashes of neon blood becomes a symbol of happiness instead of fear. The world once again possesses vibrant colors, and Akira can finally live. Zoom 100 stands out with its fresh take on the genre, avoiding the pitfalls that have plagued other zombie titles. Instead, it delivers a vibrant music experience that perfectly captures the joy depicted in Haru Asu's story amidst the violent apocalypse. The opening theme, Song of the Dead by Kanabun, is outstanding, with its upbeat tone, bright visuals, and masterful incorporation of horror elements.